Where people get off the rails is when it comes to the operation of the gifts in the church is anytime the gifts of the Spirit are used without the fruit of the Spirit in operation, weirdness and abuse will inevitably be the result. So it requires a certain measure of maturity. It requires a certain measure of wisdom and discipline and self-control. Are you with me? Okay, what's the fruit of the Spirit? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and listen, man, when the gifts are in operation in the church, don't think for a minute that somehow the Lord comes and takes over and makes you do things against your will. But the gifts are rather subject to the prophets. You have control to make sure that things are done, what? Decently, come on somebody, and in order. So, in the short history of our church, that is a Pentecostal, charismatic, spirit-filled church, we're a continuationist church, we have not ever had a message in tongues and interpretation. We are not opposed to it, but it must be done decently, come on family, and in order. And I've seen it both ways. I've been in churches where there were hundreds of people there, and all of a sudden there's a hush that comes over the room and a message in tongues given, and my spirit just be on fire knowing that it was God speaking to us, manifesting himself. We have different gifts according to the grace given us. If a man's gift is prophesying, let him use it in proportion to his faith. If it is serving, let him serve. If it is teaching, let him teach. If it is encouraging, let him encourage. If it is contributing to the needs of others, let him give generously. If it is leadership, let him govern diligently. If it is showing mercy, let him do it cheerfully. Okay, what we could generally refer to all of these people in our culture, we just call all of these people pastors. And what is important for you to understand is that when you talk about apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastor, teacher, the fivefold ministry gift given to the church to equip and build up the church, these are gifts, they're not titles. And this is kind of where we get monkeyed up, is that we want to give people titles. We like to give people titles, especially in the Western church. The Reverend. Some of that is okay because we want to give honor to people who were in these positions. Like, you guys know that I coached baseball for 5 consecutive seasons, the same core group of kids from the time they were 12 until they were 18. To this day, those boys who are now grown men, they call me coach. Not because I have that office and not because I have that title, but because of what I did for them. There are people who may operate in these gifts and not occupy those offices. They may not be in full-time ministry and yet still operate in the gifts. And there are leaders who might operate in more than one gift, or in some cases, all 5. And with that, I hope that this church is a little more informed, because when it comes to the subject of spiritual gifts, I don't want you to be ignorant.